and Shooter here. So I came back from the range and I wanted to kind of go over what I had done there at the range. I do have some other footage that I'm going to mix in with this from the range. I took it on my secondary camera or third camera over here. Way too many cameras. Just trying all kinds of new stuff here. So I went to the range and I brought the Rossi with me. And I wanted to kind of go over what I had done. Let me take this out of the case, and for those of you who had not seen how I packaged this thing up in a single package, this is how this is packaged, or well, this is how it comes from Rossi in this bag. Now you can get different calibers, and I've reviewed this before, so I'm not really going to go over that. But I pack in some ammo. This is 22. That's shorts. This is some pretty fast stuff. This is just 22 stingers. I have some shotgun shells that I keep in here with it. Just a few. And then I've got my shotgun barrel. And this is the 22 long rifle barrel right here. I now have a bag that I carry that scope in, and I did take this apart at the range and carried it to the range just like this, so I do know that it travels well. And then here is the stock. Let's go ahead and put this together. I'm gonna throw in some video here of me putting it together at the range. What I did realize when I got to the range is that I had not tightened up the mounts yet. So I went ahead and did that while I was at the range. I usually, in my range bag, carry a couple of Allen wrenches that I use primarily for different scopes and different, some of my weapons actually take Allen wrenches. So I did have some tools with me, so I was able to actually make some adjustments there at the range. So I have this. I had the scope, and I attached the scope. Let's see, and I realized it was loose, so I went and tightened it up. So let's see. So it mounted just like I have it here at the range, no problems. Got it so it was locked down. And as you saw last time, last video, I had accidentally pulled off my sight, which I had put back on. I have sighted it back in with the sight. It is not coat sights, so to use the hard iron sights, I would have to take off the scope, which is fine. I mean, if the scope has to come off because it's not working, then it's just a clip off. So I took it to the range. I went ahead and I took a few shots and found it was very far off. I made some adjustments, took a few more shots, as one would do, and it was still off. I then went ahead and took some more shots, and it got closer, and I was making quite a bit of adjustment. It was probably at 25 yards, it was a good 2 feet off from down and over to the left. So I went ahead and I made my adjustments to it. I got it up so it was tacking right in the center at 25. I was able to push it out a little bit further to the 50 yards that the range does, and I was able to pretty much tack it in at the center or tack it where I was hitting at that range as well. The groupings are pretty decent for this small single shot rifle, considering that you have to crack it open, put in another round, and then find your aim point again. It does actually get some pretty good groups. Trust me, it is the rifle, it is not the shooter. The shooter has some problems with scope still, so to do that well with this 22 was very nice. So I was able to get it tacked in. I got it really nice and tight. So I tightened everything back down, and then I wanted to make sure the way I was carrying it if I was going to have any problem. I wanted to know about it then. So what I did was I then went ahead and took the scope off of it, took a couple of shots. I only got one on video, I think, but took a shot at least with the iron sights. And later on after this, after I had shot my video for the 22, I actually went ahead, pulled the scope off, and got the iron sights in. And that's pretty basic stuff, so I figured nobody really even wanted to see that. So I went ahead and pulled off the scope, got the iron sights, or shot a couple times with the iron sights. It actually wasn't that far off. And then I put the scope right back on, and as I said in my last video, there are a few grooves on this rail. These two grooves right here in the center. I'm using those as my mount guides for this scope. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the scope, finding the mount sights, and then I am tightening it down, and then it is mounted. And that way it is right where I put it every time. So, put the scope back on, took some more shots, still dead on. So I'm quite happy with the way this one turned out. Once again, this is a very inexpensive scope. Really not expensive at all. The mounts I got with another scope that was pretty inexpensive. So technically the scope mounts were free. The scope itself was about $20. And the rifle altogether was about $150 with the shotgun. So altogether, this package is probably about $120. With the scope, with the shotgun barrel, it's about $170. So it's really a really inexpensive, really reliable single shot 22 with a carrying case and a 410 shotgun barrel, which, I mean, with slugs, you could take down large game. With small shot, you could take down a bird. You've got 22 for taking down small animals if necessary. Or it's a fun little package to just go plinking with one shot at a time. This is the new setup for the Rossi 1022 or 22 and 410 shotgun group, or a matched pair. And what do you guys think? Have you guys set up anything like this? This is my plinking emergency rifle. Gonna go camping. Need to make sure I have something to defend myself, and if I need to go hunting. Have you guys used any of this stuff? What do you think about this? This is Pagan Shooter. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you next time.